Hey everyone, Decav13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Hollow Ataraxia. Alright, so, gonna be continuing on. We're on a fresh cycle today. There's something at school. I think we'll just look around instead. Let's see what's going on in the living room.
Nani?
As I open the refrigerator to prepare something for lunch, I find it packed full of items I don't remember buying. No one went shopping today, so I wonder who's responsible.
Shirou, Taiga から伝言です。
What, did she get all these?
美味しそうなものを持ってきたので、あとはよろしくと。
Yeah, that's about right.
まあそんなことだろうと思った。
As expected, the perpetrator was Fujine. That joke of a mystery had been solved in less than 10 seconds. Well then, with this many ingredients, I could make a whole variety of stuff. What should I do?
おい、二人とも昼に食べたいものってあるか？
これといって特には、シロウが作ってくれるものであれば、何であろうと構いません。
Saber's fine with anything. I make a mental note.
ライダーは何かないのか？
Ryder, who won this morning's channel battle, is watching the national news.
私も特に希望はありませんが。
Alright then. That was only half expected of Ryder. Same reply. Well, I guess I have no choice but to decide myself.
なあライダー、前から思ってたんだが、好きな食べ物とかないのか？
それはどういう意味でしょうか？
いや、ライダー、いつも静かに飯食ってるだろ？もしかして嫌いなものでも無理をして食べてるんじゃないかと思って。
Fujine or Ilya would say it outright if they didn't like a particular item. Moreover, they wouldn't even touch it. Sakura and Tosaka would advise me as fellow chefs, and Saber, oh, that goes without saying. But I've yet to hear a single thing regarding food from Ryder.
シロウ、私に何か言いたいことがあるのでしたら、はっきりと言ってください。
言いたいことってわけじゃないんだが。
Don't worry about it, Saber.
ほら、セイバーは好きなものを嬉しそうに食べてくれるから、こっちもメニューが立てやすいというか。
何を言うのですか、シロウ。それではまるで私は食事中落ち着きがないように聞こえるではないですか。
あれで落ち着いているつもりだったのですか？
当然落ち着いています。まったく失礼な。どのように見えているのですか？
Ryder exercises her right to keep silent. Very good decision. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that she's an adult.
ああ、それで好き嫌いの話に戻るんだが。
She knows very particularly that is not a hornet's nest that she should go around kicking.
ライダーは今まで我慢していたものとかあるか？
いいえ、特には。もしや今まで心配をかけていたでしょうか？
ほんの少し。セイバーくらい素直に反応してくれるとこっちも分かりやすくていいんだが。
シロウ、あなたはライダーに組みするのですか？
セイバーは素直に喜んでくれるから作るこっちとしては助かるって話だよ。それにライダー、セイバーはちゃんと行儀よく食べてくれてるぞ。
Saber nods with satisfaction. Saber, no matter how much of a hurry she's in, will not rush her chopsticks.
好き嫌いが分かっている方が作りやすいと。それは理解できますが、私もセイバーと同じようにさくらやシロウが作ってくれる食事に満足しています。ですので、そのような気配りは不要かと。
I'm glad she feels that way, but we're not making any progress.
よし、切り口を変えよう。ライダー、逆にどうしても食べられないものってあるか？
そうきましたか。そうですね。おそらくあなたたちが調理することはまずないとは思うのですが。
お、何かあるのか？
ええ。この国ではあまり一般的ではないと思うのですが、 蛇が。
Yeah, no, we don't cook snakes. I see. Considering Ryder's identity, I doubt she'll want to eat snakes. Considering her class in Noble Phantasm, I can guess another item she would like not to eat.
ライダー、
Yeah.
もしかして馬も嫌いじゃないのか？
ええ、嫌いではありませんが。
わかった。蛇なんてめったにないだろうけど、馬は気をつける。
シロならばタイガが先日持ってきたヘビ酒は持ち帰らせた方が良いのではないでしょうか。
蛇酒って、藤姉のやつ、そんなもんまで持ち込んでやがったのか？
Saber nods once, comes into the kitchen, and opens the cabinet under the sink. And in there, unknown to me, someone had left a bottle of wine with a whole snake inside.
嬉しそうにさくらや私に見せていました。誰も怯えないとつまらなさそうにしてからここにしまっていたのを思い出しまして。
This woman, I swear.
よく思い出してくれた。セイバーはその2つは平気なんだっけ？
I ask as I shove the bottle of wine that looks, with what looks to be a pit viper inside of it further back.
ええ、その2つとも食べることに抵抗はありません。もっともそれを好まない相手の前で食べたいとは思いませんが。
わかってる。うちでは蛇と馬は禁止だな。
Saber and Ryder simply don't fit each other by nature, but they have a very caring mutual friendship.
よしよし、だいたい分かってきたぞ。ライダー、ちょっと来てくれ。
I motion toward Ryder. Unsurprisingly, it's getting cramped with all three of us here, but Saber shows no intention of going back to the living room.
昼飯に食べたいものをこの中から選んでくれ。
I open the refrigerator.
私に昼食の食材を選べということですか？
まあ、好きに選んでくれて構わない。
そうですか。では。
She looks into the refrigerator intently, and Saber watches us from the back.
シロは随分とライダーに優しいのですね。
Perhaps she's irritated by the fact that I'm asking for Ryder's opinion instead of hers.
何言ってるんだ、セイバー。食う方の人間の好き嫌いが分かった方が楽なんだぞ。第一、セイバーにだって何度か聞いたじゃないか。
確かにそうでした。
Well, there
シ
you
ロ
go.
これは何でしょうか？
Turning to check what she's asking about, I see Ryder pointing to a styrofoam package in the corner of the fridge. The label on top says, perishable, store refrigerated. I'm guessing it's some sort of fish.
中身はタコか。
そのようですね。
I tried to take it out, but its suckers seem to have stuck to the lid inside and it won't come off easily.
随分と息がいいな。
これを昼食にするのはどうでしょう？鮮度が落ちる前に食した方がいいと思います。
No doubt stuff like this is great when eaten the same day it is caught. The Saber seems to have a problem with it.
そうだな。そうすると何を作るかなって。どうしたセイバー？
For some reason, Saber was looking on from the corner of the kitchen.
シロ、本当にそれを食べるのですか？
ああ、そうしようと思ったんだけど、何かまずいのか？
いえ、その。
Saber's definitely acting strange. The longer I think what the possible reason could be, the stronger grows my conviction that the thing clinging to my hand is the cause.
もしや、あなたはタコが苦手なのですか？
Right on the mark, it seems.
冗談だろセイバー。たこ焼きは美味しそうに食ってたじゃないか。
She ate it all without a complaint when I brought them as thanks for watching over the house. Even Sakura's portion, despite the I want some too look from her. Oh, Sakura.
まさかあの中に入っていたのはそのヌルヌルしてプクプクしてテラテラした異界の魔魚だったというのですか？
Netherworld's demon fish, eh? Couple of, bad memories from 10 years ago?
ぬるぬるしてプクプクって。
Well, I suppose you could say that, but no need to hate them so much.
なんてことですか？シロ、あなたという人は。
Trembling all over, she glares at me with a dreadful stare. Is she really that mad?
待てセイバー、本当にタコがダメなのか？今までも散々食ってただろ？
まさかシローたちの言うタコというものがあの魔魚などとは思わなかったのです。なんということだ。あの切っても切っても果てなかった異界の邪神を私は口にしていたというのか。
Netherworld's evil god is taking it a bit too far.
どうするのですかシロ？セイバーは嫌がっているようですが。
そうだな。
Maybe it revived when we took it out of the refrigerator. The now live octopus starts wrapping itself around my hand.
だいたいライダー、あなたもなぜそのようなものを食べることができるのですか？
Are not we both from around the same lands, is what her eyes are saying.
私は海のものであれば分別なくいただくことができます。納豆や梅干しを好んで食べているあなたこそ、私から見れば信じられませんが。
You've been born in almost the same lands, yet you sure can eat that stuff up, is what that hidden message is this time. Wait a moment, there's something Ryder does hate after all. I hear foreigners are notorious for being unable to ever get used to natto and umeboshi. Sounds like Ryder is no exception.
確かに最初は面食らいましたが、あの程度ならば行軍中のチーズや干し物に比べれば食べやすいものです。
Ah, I suppose that's the reason why she can stand anything fermented. As I'm admiring her resilience, I peel the octopus off my hand and place it on the cutting board. Ryder and Saber are too busy arguing to notice what I'm doing.
それを言うのでしたら、あなたはオリーブオイルをかけすぎなのではないですか？あれではせっかくの食事が持つ風味が損なわれている。
Well, she is from the land that's famous for olive oil. Ah, that's true. Ryder sure uses olive oil a lot.
食事は個人の自由でしょ。そもそも私たちはサーバントです。本来必要のない食事にこだわる方がおかしい。セイバー、あなたの思考は私から見ると時に浅ましく思えますよ。
ほう。では自転車やらオートバイ欲しさで給仕に身をやつすのはサーバントとして浅ましくないというのですね。
Somehow a precarious situation has developed while I was focusing on food. Danger, Will Robinson. If I let this go on, the existence of our beloved house, if not the entire neighborhood, is in question.
先輩、
Oh, hey,
お昼
Sakura.
の準備手伝います。
Just in time.
さくら、よかった。ちょうどいいところに来てくれた。こっちはいいから、セイバーたちを止めてきてもらえないか。
もう、ライダー、こんな時間からセイバーさんと何をしてるんですか？まさかこの間みたいにちょっとした口喧嘩でテーブルを壊そうというんじゃないですよね。
Again?
さくら、いえ、大したことではありません。そうですよねセイバー。私たちはただお互いの食事の好みを話し合っていただけで。
ええ、その通りですライダー。
Everyone in this house fears Sakura.
たまには干物や乾物といった日本独特の味覚に挑戦してはどうかと話し合っていたのです。
I can hear the excuses.
まあ、いい薬になるよな。
I silently thank Sakura as she's scolding the two of them, then concentrate back on the ingredient lying on the cutting board. Of course, this would be one-sided, so I'd better prepare some natto and umeboshi as well. Well then, as a symbol of our reconciliation, why don't we all try something to conquer our respective weaknesses? Both of them suffer. Another Saber in the living room. Saber, got another Rin. Caster... what's going on with Rin? Tosaka's back. I wonder what she's up to. Maybe I'll go take a peek.
お邪魔します。あれ、留守かな？
I haven't heard a response since I came in from the porch. Maybe she just left the doors unlocked in a rush? Nah, that's one thing she definitely wouldn't do.
おーい、トサカ？
I feel signs of a human presence on the second floor. I head up the stairs to see.
何？エミヤくん来てたの？
Oh, she's here after all. Going up to the second floor, I finally find Tosaka in her room.
すまん。さっきから声上げてたんだけど、返事なかったんで勝手にやってきた。
留守にしていたってことは考えないのね。まあそれだったらまず上がってこれないか。
But of course. And so I find myself dumbfounded by the scene in this room.
随分とすごいことになってるな。
それはもう1週間分の荷物を詰めてきたんだもの。この
There's a wide open trunk. No matter how I look at it, the contents spread out on the floor don't look like they should fit inside. Looks like the trunk was holding roughly twice its volume in luggage.
そのトランク、魔術がかけてあるのか。
そういう便利なことも考えたわよ。でも容積の歪みなんて固定化に失敗したら空港とかで大恥かくじゃない。
It certainly would be embarrassing. With a saber there. But more than avoiding shame, it's of utmost importance to prevent magic from being exposed to public eyes. One careless mistake like that could be enough to get the association going after you.
荷物のパッキングにも技術があってね。これくらいならなんとか入るものよ。
そういえば、親父もむちゃくちゃだったな。
Kiritsugu used to travel with a small bag, but he always managed to stuff a disproportionately large amount of luggage in it. A special skill of a wayfarer, I guess.
このトランクをゴロゴロ転がしながら汽車を乗り継いだり、石畳の往来を行くわけか。大変だな、海外旅行って。
Having suddenly come into this room with things she probably doesn't want me to see, I inadvertently turn my eyes toward the window. Or I plan to, anyway. My indiscretions immediately discovered, Tosaka starts poking my cheek, as if to say she doesn't really mind.
行きはともかく帰りこれだけは宅配便よ。やっと届いたと思ったらこれでね。
That's true. After a fun trip, getting your luggage sorted out can be a real pain. That's even more true after a trip you didn't enjoy, especially for girls who also have to deal with an immeasurable amount of clothes. And then I can also see a few items wrapped up in a nice paper.
観光じゃないから行きより荷物は増えないと思ったけど抜かったわね。
ちゃんと土産買ってきたんだ、父さんが。
The best I've ever gotten from her as a souvenir was an assortment of some hot spring manju. Still, I fear this place is going to look like a disaster zone until someone works up the courage to sort out this ever-expanding mountain of luggage. I'll be blunt. Tosaka's no good at tidying things up. The state of her room at my house is proof enough of that.
じゃ、少しは手伝おう。
ええ、悪いわね。
Tosaka smiles bitterly. So,
おや
this white and smooth cloth I feel must be...
そこ侵入禁止区域。
Alright.
悪かった。
I get scolded by Tosaka after getting knocked head over heels into the corner. What did she hit me with? Gander? Or is that some forbidden technique from the martial arts she used to practice?
いつまでそこでひっくり返ってる気よ、シロ。
ひっくり返したのはお前じゃないか。たかがした。
I feel like I might get shot again if I say it. Okay, that area is off limits.
どうしていきなりあんなものを掴み当てるのよ、ムンズと。
俺は無作為抽出しただけだぞ。
はいはい。今度からシローが探り当てないところにしまっておくわよ。ああ、これの洗濯も大変ね。やっぱりシローの家に届けてもらえばよかったかしら。
The laundry situation at our house is already quite grave, and now she wants to add more to it. Sakura and Ryder might not be able to handle a week's worth of clothes on top of the regular workload.
なんでそうしなかったんだ？
どうしてかしらね。やっぱり旅の始めと終わりにはけじめが欲しかった。なんて心の贅肉ね。人の生き様は終わらない旅路みたいなものなのに。
As I thought, it's hard for Tosaka to separate herself from this mansion. For one reason or another, she's basically settled in my place. But this is where her heart is. Knowing that, this formal mansion has a different atmosphere about it. She exhales while looking at the mountain of luggage and says,
やっぱり自分で片付けるわ。この先またシロを殴ってたらこっちがくたびれちゃう。
Ah, okay.
すまないな。お詫びにお茶でも入れてくる。
いいわよ。片付け終わるまでに冷めちゃうからもったいないわ。
That is true. It'd be weird if I just sit here sipping tea while she's sorting all this out.
何かすることあるか？掃除とか昼飯作るとか。
することあったらちゃんとシロを呼ぶわよ。今のところは私もしばらく時間かかりそうだから。
In that case, there's no reason for me to stay here. That's fine. I can come back to check on her another time.
じゃあお先に失礼する。本当に何もないんだな。
疑り深くなったわね。誰の仕込みよ一体。
Despite her suspicions, I'm pretty sure the only one scheming anything is Tosaka herself. Good grief, I think, with a shrug. And...
ああ、そう。忘れてた。ちょうどいいところにシロがいるじゃない。
so I guess there is something he can do.
やっぱりそうだろう。そうじゃないかと思ったんだ。
As I prepare myself for what's coming, Tosaka dives back into the pile of luggage, saying, "Is this it? No, not that. Maybe here." As she searches.
で、何？
Oh, souvenir? Maybe?
そう、あったあった。はい、これ。
I'm worried by this light paper bag I've been handed. It's in fancy department store wrapping. What kind of job awaits me?
そんな顔しないでいいわよ。私のお土産だから。
俺に？サンキュー。じゃあ。
I want to just escape with this in my arms. A surprise attack like this. How am I supposed to show my thanks? However, as I stand there contemplating, Tosaka glares at me in displeasure.
ひったくりじゃないんだから。ちゃんと開いて確認してみてよ。
そういう映画かドラマみたいなプレゼントの流儀は。いや、わかった。観念した。
So, in an overly dramatic way that doesn't harm the wrapping, I break the seal and check out the contents. A plaid scarf. It's not all that heavy, yet it looks quite warm.
いいのか？高価なんじゃないのか？
値段なんか知ってどうする気？いいじゃない。これからこっちも寒くなるんだから。
そうだな。これは暖かそうだ。少し長くないか？
Seems big enough to wrap around in extra time. However, you can certainly wrap it any way you like when it's this long.
使い道はシローに任せたから。ああ、セイバーでも温めてあげなさい。
いや、そんなことは。だって、遠坂からのもらい物だから、これ。
はいはい。その辺はエミヤ君に任せたわよ。うまく使いなさいね。
Dumbfounded, I grab the scarf. Fuyuki's autumn isn't cold enough to use this yet. When the time comes, I'll show her a thing or two.
繰り返しだけど、ありがとうな。
どういたしまして、シロ。
That was nice. Alright. Guess we do have other places to go for a walk. What happens if I go to the ghost house alone? It's not too late. Should I go back? There's no point in coming here. I never knew about a Western house like this in the first place. I have absolutely nothing to do with it. It's just a story I thought I heard somewhere. It feels as if I'm dreaming about a movie I saw before going to bed. Of course, the original film has been rewritten as they saw fit and remade in a contemporary style rather than simply revived. And yet, if there is one scene that hasn't changed one bit from the original, those two people in a Western house at night. I'm now trying to go back inside the film, inside the dream. Feeling a chill, I start running. I've already gone this far, I can't turn back. I need to make sure. Whatever there is, whatever awaits me, is the source of this uneasy feeling that covers all the town. I enter a large room on the second floor. I see a scene I have seen so many times before. There is... naturally nobody here. There's no woman sleeping on the sofa. No rotten man sitting in a chair. Well, of course. Because during daytime, the conclusion is that it's nothing more than just a deserted old house.
なんだ、結局。
Those two don't even exist. That story is nothing but a dream, a mere fairy tale.
戻ろう。 少し遠出しすぎた。
I leave the haunted house behind. Just in case, I look up at the window on the second floor. Nothing abnormal. Why would I do this? Still puzzled, I start walking down the hill. Strange. Okay, another Saber in the room. Caster in the temple. Saber at the station as well. Let's go see Caster.
何をしているんだ、エミヤ。
Hey, Isai.
いや、見ての通り雑巾がけだけど。
I wring out the washcloth and dirty black water drips into the bucket.
いや、それはわかるが、なぜエミヤがうちのお堂の雑巾がけをしているのか、今一つ理解ができないのだが。
まあ、それは。
As part of my strength training routine, I try to utilize the muscles I don't normally use by going up and down the long flight of stone steps. Issei's older brother came by.
Oh, Shirou-kun. 掃除などいかがかな?
Character I've never seen before. Seeing the motivation that I had to train my body, I was asked to assist with temple cleaning. Exchanging a brief greeting with the ever-present assassin at the temple gate, I entered the temple grounds. I was expecting to be sweeping up the fallen leaves for sure, but also eventually got dragged inside the temple hall.
こうしてお堂の雑巾がけを任されたんだ。
なぜ断らなかったのだ。
普段お世話になってるからな。それに道内の雑巾がけ結構楽しいぞ。
Issei takes a deep breath. Amazed, or not, kinda hard to tell.
いや、生徒会のことで散々頼っている俺が言えることではないか。
He concludes with a sigh.
しかし、頼まれればお前は友人宅の掃除まで引き受けるというのか？
場合によるけどな。前も遠坂の家の掃除とかもしてき
I
た
don't
し。
think you should really tell him that. I keep the keys while she's away too, and to Issei's disapproval grows even stronger.
どうした？
いや、エミヤにそのような仕事まで押し付ける遠坂に対する怒りよりも、結果的に遠坂と同じことを頼んでいるという現状にややめまいよな。
Nonetheless, now that I am Tosaka's apprentice, cleaning the master's house is also part of my job. One should always tidy up after making a mess. This is key.
失礼する。霊感からエミヤに差し入れだが、
Oh,
一休みする前に手を洗ってくる方が先だな。
Kuzuki-sensei comes along with a tray. Looks like some tea and Japanese sweets. Doesn't take long to notice that these are a whole class above our tea cakes, probably reserved for guests.
総一郎兄、霊感兄は来ないのですか？
ああ。檀家の方が来られたので、そちらの相手に回っている。
どうもです。じゃあ手を洗ってきますけど、戻ってくるのはここでいいんですか？
神仏の前では落ち着かないか。では私の部屋にしよう。あいにく来客用の部屋は使用中だ。
I'm guessing Caster. The whole scene is quite bizarre. We're drinking tea in Kuzuki-sensei's room, sitting around a tray. As if personally assigned to us, Kuzuki-sensei is pouring us tea, but I still can't settle down. Looking around the room, I realize there's a whole lot of cupboards and odd-looking bottled chips all over the place. The reason is that those are all made with Western liquor bottles rather than 1.8-liter Japanese ones. Ah, but I do wonder what's inside all those cupboards. I didn't realize it until I actually came in here. This is also the newlywed Caster's room. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Caster lives in here. In that case, inside there...
エミヤ、茶だ。
Kuzuki-sensei's voice brings me back to reality. I accept the offered teacup and a nice smell floats into the air. As I thought, this must be pretty high-quality fare. It wouldn't be polite to ignore it, so I helped myself to the tea cakes too. Sweets taste particularly great after hours of hard work, and even more so together with delicious tea. Saber would be delighted if I brought her a few.
随分と嬉しそうだが、気に入ったのか？
そんなに嬉しそうか、俺。
Yep, nods Issei. Kuzuki-sensei just continues sipping tea, expressionless as always.
確かその菓子ならまだ残っていたな。いくらか持って帰るか。
そこまでしてもらうのは悪いんじゃないのか？ちょっと雑巾がけしただけだぞ。
別に構うまい。
In that case, I guess it's okay to take a few souvenirs. The second I thought that, the door slides open.
総一郎様、お食事の準備ができました。あら。
Castor, still holding a tray, looks at me curiously.
一星君はともかく、どうして坊やがいるのかしら？
まあ、ちょっとあって。
That's all I can manage. The part about the flight of stone steps would be quite difficult to start from too. But more importantly, the stuff on the tray finally caught my interest. The food that has just been put down on the nearby desk must be today's lunch.
それ、キャスターが作ったのか？
そうよ。何か文句でもあるのかしら？
Well, rather than complain, I'm just wondering about the artless simplicity of it, but...
キャスターって、もしかして料理苦手か？
It's burnt, flooded with oil, and to top it off, kind of gaudy. It's yellow, or maybe red. No, perhaps violet is the best word for it.
何よ。そんな風に言うからには、当然坊やは料理ができるんでしょうね。
Yeah, he can.
ああ、エミヤの飯はうまいですよ。
Issei chimes in right away.
どうして一星君がそこで答えるのかしら？
ああ、いや、エミヤの飯を食ったこともありますし。
To be correct, he tries it all the time in the student council room. Even if Castor isn't that great at cooking, I can understand why. She was originally a king's daughter, in other words, royalty. And while she probably has no experience with things like cooking, she is certainly persistent. Then again, it's just not right for a hero to be good at cooking in the first place. Like that red one, or the one with the dark skin, or with white hair. So, all the same guy.
エミヤは料理が得意なのか？
はい。ずっと自炊していたんで、できる方だとは思いますが。
After this unusual display, as of having thought of something,
キャスター、自分の技術に引け目を感じるのであれば、エミヤに教えを受けてみてはどうだ？
he should propose something outrageous.
は？
Even Issei. The three of us reacted simultaneously.
無論、二人が了承すればの話だが。
He continues indifferently, as if our reaction did not disturb him in the least.
総一郎様がそうおっしゃるんでしたら、私は構いませんけど。
え？
This time it's Issei and me who never thought Castor would agree to this. Everyone's looking at me now. Well, it's true I'm the only one that hasn't replied yet.
まあ、別にそんくらいなら構わないけど。
決まりだな。妻によく教えてやってくれ、エミヤ。
Because he called her his wife. That's why she's like this. Having received the souvenirs from Issei, I leave Ryudo Temple behind. Well, whatever.
成り行きとしか言いようがないよな。
For now, I wonder what the heck I should teach her. Should I teach her? Oh, that'll be interesting. What's at the school? Issei and Sakura. Ilya in the living room. Something in Saber's room, too. Castor at the station. Let's go on with Ilya. It's almost 3 o'clock. Let's make some tea. For now, I'll make some for myself. Then, I guess I'll invite Sakura or Saber, or Sakura and Saber, or whoever's around. Oh. Great, someone's in the living room. There's no point in taking a break alone. Whoever that is, let's join them for a while.
あれ？ イリアだったのか。
こんにちは。お邪魔してるわ、シロ。
来てたなら一声かけてくれ。すぐに迎えに。いいか、タイミングがいいのは一緒だし。
何、シロ。
いや、すぐにお茶の準備をするよ。ろくな歓迎もできなくて悪かった。
What should I do? She doesn't care for bitter or spicy stuff, so black tea it is.
いいの、シロ。そこに座って。
Oh? For now, I just do as I'm told.
もう、シロはこの家の主なんだから、大前自弱と構えないとダメじゃない。
うん、それはまあ。
Starting to get late. It's just my opinion, but I thought, as the head of the household, that not greeting a guest is rather impolite. Honestly, I don't think I can handle just sitting here all the time looking proud and important.
お兄ちゃん、今お茶入れようとしてたでしょ。
ああ、お茶ないとくつろげないし。あ、イリアはせんべいがダメだとか。
Wait a minute. I noticed something just now. There's someone in the kitchen.
お茶ならね。リズ。
So they're actually here, huh?
イリア。
Ah! It came out! A ghost! I mean, Elia's housemaid. Why here?
シロにはダージリン。私にはホットチョコレートね。了解。
The white-clad maid disappears into the kitchen in an instant. I'm speechless. It's no wonder. Having a maid suddenly spring forth from the kitchen would surprise anyone.
シロ、何をそんなにびっくりし
What
て
do
る
you
の？
mean? What is he surprised about?
当たり前だ。なんで俺の家にイリアのメイドたちがいる？
だってレディがお月を伴わずに外出するなんて明日ないじゃない。
You go out with them, without them all the time. Ilia smiles radiantly. Not having them would be improper? What century are we talking about?
ちょっと待て。イリアはお月のメイドたちと一緒なのは嫌なんじゃなかったっけ？
遊びに行くときはね。けどこういうときはいてくれた方が便利じゃない？
はあ。いや、しかしこれは。
Peeking inside the kitchen, they really are hustling around noisily, taking care of various chores. The surrealism of the sight makes me slightly dizzy. The high-class, dignified maid clothes from the castle are far too showy for this house. Heck, they look like the household masters themselves.
何？ふーん。もしかしてシロ。台所は自分の縄張りだから他の人に入られるのが嫌だとか？
Now that she mentions it, that's not it at all. With everyone using the kitchen, there's no way I'd get possessive over it.
ふふん。セラもリズもシロにとっては他人だから侵犯される恐れがあるんでしょうね。さくらとかは身内だから気にもしないんでしょうけど。
なるほど。確かにそうかもしれない。ミリアだったらこんな気はしないんだけど。
Ilia in the kitchen. Well, she may be a little short. While I'm thinking, a white shadow materializes nearby.
お嬢様、お茶が入りました。
はい、イリア。気をつける。熱い。
Liz, the maid that has difficulty with language, places the cup in front of Ilia. But when did her household get such high-class saucers? And now to my side.
エミヤ様。
ああ。
Stella, the one in charge of education, and by no exaggeration, Einsburn's castle's greatest threat, is now attending to me.
エミヤ様、こちらは当家の懇意により今年秋のタルボ農園より取り寄せた最上級のアーリーオータムナルのダージリンでございます。
アーリータムタム。
I might hold my own when it comes to Japanese tea. This black tea attack, striking my weakest spot, was totally out of the blue.
本来であれば当家の当主、あるいは懇意の間柄や年来の客人にしか入れない特別のお茶です。ですので、エミやシロー様。
なんだよ、とにかく高いお茶だってことだろ。
なんと浅ましい。値段の問題ではありません。このようなことは口にするべきではないのですが、このお茶はお嬢様のご好意の証ということです。よろしいですね、エミヤシロ様。そのご信頼を夢裏切ることのなきよう、心してお嬢様のお気持ちを口にするのです。
Not given many options, am I? To be lectured before being given tea. Who would have thought? Ilya's grinning broadly. Is it that much fun seeing me being lectured? I guess it is.
はあ、いただきます。
Despite drinking tea in my own home, I still feel guilty. Even I can tell that this is high-grade tea. The aroma is very delicate, straight yet perfectly smooth, and sweet.
ああ、そう。シロ、今日はこちらから持ってこさせてもらったけど、気にしないでいいからね。別にこのレベルの葉を常備しておけとは言ってないから。
助かる。あと、いつもソチャばかりですまなかった。
Having once proudly offered bargain bin genmaicha to Ilya, who is used to this kind of excellence, I am now quite embarrassed. Moreover, I just can't relax while I'm surrounded by Sella and Liz.
シロ、やっぱりデザートも欲しいわよね。
ああ、まさかそっちも用意してあるのか。
え、もちろんよ。セラ、リズ。
The maids, standing by until now, resume their work. As soon as the two of them disappear back into the kitchen, I unconsciously let out a sigh of relief.
シロったらすごく緊張しちゃって。
当たり前だ。メイド臨席でお茶なんか初めてだし。あ、
I kind of understand why Ilya would want to go out alone now. She's used to the ever-present maids by now, but from time to time she still needs to have a taste of freedom without them around.
はあ、大変なんだ、イリアも。
ちょっとね。けどセラは前ほど口うるさくはなくなったかな。それでもレディのたしなみとかいろいろと忙しいけど。
セラは真面目だからな。イリアにもちゃんと立派になってほしいんだろう。
そうね、ちゃんとセラの期待通り大きくならないとね。
イリア、もっと欲しい？
ううん、これくらいでいいわ。リズ、お兄ちゃんには大きめでね。
お嬢様、そのような呼び名で。いえ、エミヤシロ様、こちらはラ・フルールのトリプルベリーパイでございます。
Ooh. Pie, having appeared out of nowhere, is adorned with whipped cream and all sorts of berries. This is what Tosaka calls a very, very berry one. Sure enough, there's plenty of red on it. Ilya wastes no time in attacking it with her fork. I guess she doesn't mind the red part.
こちらもまたお嬢様の好みでございます。くれぐれも食べ残すなどということのないよう、エミヤ様。
ああ、それはなんとなく分かったけど、セラ。
何でしょうか、エミヤシロ様。
いや、なんだ、別にここは城じゃないんだから、ちょっと力を抜いていいんじゃないか。
I don't think she's gonna like him saying that.
なんか俺から見てもぎゅうぎゅうに構えすぎてて肩凝ってるように見えるぞ。
あ、本当だ。セラ、冷え性？
ディゼリット。
そうよね、温泉領地にも行った方がいいかもね。
お嬢様、私の身を気遣っていただけるのはありがたいのですが、私はお嬢様の次女です。お嬢様の御身こそご自愛くださいませ。
Poking fun is not enough to perturb this mind of steel. Truly the perfect maid.
コホン、エミヤ様、先ほどの質問ですが、私はさほど肩は凝りません。ですので、そのような気遣いは無用です。
そうなんだ。じゃあ、ではありがたくいただきます。
I stick my fork into the mountain of berries, but having these two stare at me from the side is kind of unnerving after all. Here goes another one.
なあ、セラたちも食べないのか？
はい、 使用人は主と食卓は共にしないものです。
ナイン段家。
そうか。
Another failure. Ilya seems to be enjoying it, though. Watching me get embarrassed is quite entertaining, no doubt. However, at this rate, my fork just isn't making any progress.
困ってるのシロ？
それはもう俺の家なのに誰かに拉致されてる気分になる。
それじゃせっかくの美味しいお茶もケーキももったいないわね。セラ、リズ、呼ぶまで下がっていなさい。イリア。
それではあちらで控えております、お嬢様。
The moment the white-clad maids were gone, the living room suddenly felt much larger. I breathed a deep sigh of relief.
そっか。あの二人だったらシロをからかって遊べるのね。
Ilya, please.
今度もまた連れてこよっかな。
勘弁してくれ。あの二人でディナー形式の夕食なんかされたら味もわからなくなる。
そうなの？もう先が思いやられるわね。そんなんじゃ大事な女の子ができた時エスコートできないよ、シロ。
エスコートってそれぐらいできる？なんだ、ほら、俺が言いたいのはメイドがいるような場違いな合成さが合わないってことでだな。エスコートするにしてもそれは商店街ぐらいの小規模なものってことで。
そうかな。これは予言だけど、シロは将来とびっきり高価で優雅なデートをするわ。シロがどんなに苦手でもこればっかりは避けて通れない行事だと思いなさい。
Unavoidable event, eh?
教授って大事な女の子と豪勢なデートをするってことか？
信じられない？
Ah, well, believing isn't the problem to begin with.
そういう場所を選ぶ前に相手がいなさそうなんだが、そういう場合はどうするんだろ
それも大丈夫。もし相手がいなかったら最後には私がいるもの。
Thanks, Ilya.
というか一番のデートをするのは私だもの。シロには絶対王子様として迎えに来てもらうんだから。
Crap. My brain just experienced a sudden meltdown. A first-rate smile so sweet it overwhelms the berry pie in my mouth.
う。いや、イリア。
ほらほら、フォークが止まってるよお兄ちゃん。口元までジャムでべったりで行儀の悪い弟みたい。ほんとあんまりだらしないといっそ私が食べちゃうんだから。
Mimicking an older sibling's voice, she keeps making fun of me. I slowly chew on the pie, no longer noticing the taste. It's just as she says. Even her thoughts are sweet. Both tension and embarrassment mixed together, making my head spin. The Sela and Liz are just the beginning. Even Ilya by herself. No, especially all by herself. This sugar-coated lady is sweeter than any cake out there. Oh, Ilya's something else, man. Fucking bad. I've really come to like her a lot. Alright, let's go on to the station. The sky is close. The tallest building in the city. Tonight, the rooftop is once again strikingly lit by the strong moonlight. I don't really have a reason for coming here. I'm not looking over the city. Instead, my eyes are always directed upward. The moon is close. The eclipsed shape of the moon somehow looks like a cup. Suddenly, I get the foolish notion that maybe I could reach it from here. I need a rocket to go to the moon. Either that or a nauseatingly long ladder. Without that, I wouldn't be able to get there.
戻ろう。一人で来てもしょうがない。
I leave behind the silver thread. This is where the sky, the empty sky is. Even with this tall a tower, I cannot reach the beginning. Alright, that's all the nighttime stuff done. So you got something in the rider, got something in the storage room. Let's see. In the ghost house. Let's see what Ryder's up to. With a paperback book in one hand, I head towards Ryder's room. I finished reading the one she lent me, so I came to return it and borrow another.
ライダー入るぞ。
What's going on here? Just what is this? Tosaka is studying Ryder's hair from extremely close up, while Ryder stands by looking slightly bewildered. Why is such a secret flower garden-esque atmosphere filling this room?
おー、エミヤくん。どうしたの？障子を開けたままポケット突っ立っちゃって。
いや、俺は本を返しに来ただけなんだが。君たちは何してんの？
Emotions still being processed. My voice comes out like a robot's.
何って見てわからない？ライダーの髪綺麗でしょ？
Gave in to what exactly? What are they really up to here?
シロ、本を返しに来たのですね。そのあたりに置いておいてください。後で私が片付けますので。
ああ。で、ライダー、なんだ、遠坂に弱みでも握られたのか？
I'm not entirely sure if there's barely a perceptible mistake in the delicate scene painted before me, or whether it is simply intended to play on the viewer's nerves. Now that I look at her more closely, however, it seems Ryder's not enjoying it that much either.
別に、そう目を白黒させることではないかと。リンが私の髪を見たいというので、こうして髪をすいてもらっているだけですから。
そうだったんだ。羨ま。いや、珍しいこともあるんだな。ライダーが人に髪を触らせるなんて。それで遠坂、ライダーの髪の何が気になるんだ？
It could be related to magic. It's said that women have strong magical power residing in their hair, so this could be related to some kind of new magic she picked up while in London.
何って、だからほら。
Guessing it's not going to be anything like that. As she speaks, Tosaka gathers one section of Ryder's hair in her hands and then another. Her eyes, as she stares at it, are full of serious concentration. All joking aside, right now she's the same Tosaka Rin that appears when there's a precious gem around to be studied.
なんで枝毛がないのよ。
Ah. Seriously, what are these two doing?
呆れたな。暇なのか、遠坂。
だってライダーってこんなに髪が長いのに朝から晩まで綺麗じゃない？女として気にならない方が変よ。
美容室でも時々言われます。この長さで枝毛が全くないのは何かの冗談かと。やはり髪は女性の永遠の課題なのでしょうね。
A tranquil smile surfaces over Ryder's calm face. Split ends, huh? It's not something I've experienced myself, but they do seem to be a serious issue as far as girls are concerned. They do say that damaged hair will result in split ends, and girls with long hair must worry about this a lot.
では、次は私がリンの枝毛を探しましょうか。
それには及ばないわよ。
Tosaka visibly falters at Ryder's proposal.
リンも様々な手入れでこの黒髪を養っているのでしょう。私から見ても絹のようで羨ましいです。
そう言われると照れるわね。
Ryder catches the ends of Tosaka's hair between her fingers. The secret flower garden-o-meter just went off the scale. I wouldn't be so foolish to say so out loud, but this kind of situation could really lead one to imagine certain things.
あら、見てライダー。そこの誰かさんポカーンとしてるわよ。
Whoops, almost let myself get caught there. Trembling, I tear my gaze away and look off somewhere else as I distance myself from them.
シローは枝毛はなさそうですね。
あるかもしれないけど気にしたことはないし。
残念です。もう少し長ければ次はシローの番だったのですが。
Ryder's tranquil smile has been replaced by a smug grin. I know I'm a little late in realizing this, but these ladies are the same two who are neck and neck in the house for the title of most ill-tempered.
違う話をしよう。いや同じでもいいから違う人の話にしよう。
I enter a defensive stance. The way this conversation is going, I'll end up as a toy for the two of them before long.
違う人物ですか？そうですね。そのあたり気になるかもしれない男がいました。
Oh?
誰？男の知り合いで長髪はいなかったはずだけど。
アサシンの佐々木小次郎です。
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Right, now that she mentions it. Even as a guy, I can't help but notice how nice his long hair looks.
待った。あいつ暇なんだし、日がな一日枝毛の手入れをしていておかしくないわよ。
しかしリン、彼とてサーバント。思うに枝毛はないと。
それは屈辱。そなたは枝毛で悩むのか？ははは、実に良い。己の容姿に悩むうちは花の乙女よ。乙女であるうちはまだまだ美しさを増そうなんて笑われた日にはショックで寝込みかねないわ。
That does sound like something he would say.
いかにも言いそうですね。あれは単
Thanks,
な
Ryder.
る男ですから。
No, would is the wrong word here. Her example is so fitting that I'm sure she's already had those very words said to her. But it really is hard to resist the temptation to ask. Not just about the split ends. That warrior's howry that he's always wearing must require a bit of looking after. Then again, maybe not. No doubt that would end in me getting slashed in half.
男の枝毛のことなんか考えるのはやめにしましょう。心の税金だわ。
リンもサクラも髪では苦労しているのですね。
ま、私は私で負けないようにうまくやるわ。ライダーはサクラをいろいろ手伝ってあげてよね。あの子、磨けばもっと光るんだから。
I can't tell if this is consideration for a younger sister or a rival's encouragement.
はい。リンには胸を借りるつもりで挑戦させていただきます。
胸ならサクラに借りたいくらいよ。何そこ、笑ってる場合じゃない。
I didn't make any noise.
何もしてないぞ俺は。
Christ, Rin. Let's see. What else we got going on here? You know, we could go talk to Assassin now. Let's see. You know what? Let's go talk to Assassin. At the top of a long flight of stone steps stands the Ryudo Temple Gate. The gate guard here is rather stubborn and difficult to deal with. Instead of something like lion dogs or Neo statues,
今日はいるな。
the figure of Sasaki Kojiro, Assassin, comes into view. Having never gone into town, he has literally disappeared within the temple gate. An imposing character like that in broad daylight with temple visitors around would be rather odd. Fortunately, no one but espers should be able to see him. Or so you think. Out for a casual stroll, I end up coming all the way here. I wonder why. Despite having the day off, I bet Issei still went to school. Even if I go out of the way to offer him a cheerful greeting, the chances of being able to get a conversation going with Kojiro are slim. Kojiro himself only glances towards me. Finding no ill intent, he shifts his gaze elsewhere. But you know, after standing guard all day long, you can't help but be bored. A job where you don't do anything, even if that's an exaggeration. I can't fathom how tiresome that must be. I feel sorry for him.
今度差し入れでも持ってくるか。
He doesn't look like the kind of guy that dislikes drinking. Should I take some from the main temple building? Suddenly, Kojiro stands up. Behind me, I hear somebody going up the stone steps. out of breath, and make frequent stops along the way. Wondering who that might be, I hide behind the gate and take a peek. Well, Kojiro aside, there was no need for me to hide. I just followed along. Oh. Saigusa. As she's having a rest just a few steps before the top, I see a familiar face. Saigusa? Is she alone? Once recovered, she slowly conquers the last bit. The guard in question, Kojiro, gazes at Saigusa silently. Her epic ascent finally over, she looks at him uneasily, not noticing me yet. But she sees Kojiro. And I do recall hearing about this somewhere. She speaks up, a hint of fear in her voice. Well, can't blame her. Not when this anachronism of a swordsman stands in front of her. And not a single TV crew or signboard in sight.
すいません。お寺の方ですか？
さよう。
こんなこと聞いては失礼かもしれないんですけど、お祭りでもあるんですか？
A very Saigusa-like straight pitch. She must be inquiring about Kojiro's antique-looking clothes.
祭りか。この寺にも来歴があるようだな。キャスターはそう言ってはいたが、いつのことかはあいにくとな。
What kind of history, I wonder? Saigusa ponders, tilting her head to the side.
はあ、キャスターさんって久月先生の奥様ですよね。
そういうことになっている。困ったもの。
Unfortunately. She seems a little off-put by his blunt manner of speech. Perhaps it's about time to interrupt them. Just as I'm about to make an appearance, Saigusa's unexpectedly persistent stance stops me in my tracks. The way things are now, this is not a good time to come out.
キャスターさんと久月先生、お似合いだと思うのですけど、お名前は？
津田小次郎と。
Oh?
じゃあ小次郎さん、お似合いだと思いませんか？
Tsushita? Stop making up weird names. Do you think she might get suspicious if he called himself Sasaki Kojiro while wearing that outfit?
君の名前は？
最後さユキカと言います。
ではユキカ殿、私は彼女が旦那に構ってもらえずに焼いているのを見るのが数少ない娯楽だったのだよ。昨今はその意味ではいささか面白くない。
You are a wicked man, Kojiro. However, I can sympathize. Being perpetually assigned to guard duty while Castor strolls freely around town would put anyone in a foul mood.
そうなんですか。
なに、これはかぶいた私の好みだ。君のようなあどけない娘から祝福されると知れば、彼女も喜ぶだろう。
Muttering thus, he sits down on the stone steps.
あどけないんですか、私。
She really is, though she wouldn't notice it herself. But despite her nervousness, she still sits down beside him.
小次郎さん、やっぱり私の見間違いじゃないですよね。
While saying that, Saigusa runs her hand all over Kojiro's costume. While his face may remain stone still, he is definitely troubled.
マキちゃんやカネちゃんはお寺の山門にお侍さんなんかいないって言うんです。でもやっぱり本当にいたんですね。
彼女たちが来た時は時が悪かったのだろう。
He mutters in bewilderment, staying beside her. Befriended by a cute little puppy, even Kojiro finds it hard to be unkind.
本当ですか？いつもお堂の中に？
いや、山門の上にな。あの上で参詣の客に不心得者が紛れていないかを伺う門番役だ。
He isn't exactly lying, but he isn't quite telling the truth either. Of course, he'd be reluctant to talk about servants and so forth in the first place.
あ、それだからお侍さんみたいな格好をしてるんですか？私、秋のお祭りの出し物のお稽古をしてるのかなって思ってたんです。
see. While Kojiro sits there dumbfounded, Saigusa's face is sparkling with an innocent smile.
すごいです小次郎さん。本当にお侍さんみたいです。その後ろの長い刀って本物ですか
5尺余りの備中青枝。
Hearing that it's a real sword, Saigusa leaps back. No wonder. When you think about it, seeing a man armed with a real sword right in front of you is a bit of a shock. Even my thick-headed self would be perturbed in that situation.
怯えるな。手向かわぬ女子供は切りはせぬ。
でも警察とか大丈夫なんですか
自社はもとより守護不入の地だ。心配はない。
What century is that from? Gathering her resolve once again, Saigusa timidly goes back to sitting by his side. The flow of the conversation is interrupted and silence sets in, yet there's definitely a friendly air between the two of them. As I watch from behind the gate, I suddenly feel rather embarrassed by this act of voyeurism.
小次郎さん、その
何かな。
もしよければその
Listening to this makes me nervous. I mean, Saigusa is talking to a guy out of her own will. Just what is it that attracts her to Kojiro? Is his slightly greater than average audacity? Had Makidera been here, there'd be more than a little violent uproar, no doubt.
今度マキちゃんとカネちゃんに会ってもらえないかなって。
その二人は君の友人か。ああ、カネとやら彼女の方は見覚えがあるな。
Kojiro is nodding, but his face remains stern.
本当ですか？カネちゃんと小次郎さんってもうお知り合いなんですか？
こちらが一方的に見知っているだけだ。その時は上にいたものでね。しかし、さて、どうしたものか。私のような世捨て人と面会したところで。
He lets out a light sigh. His dramatic attitude looks nothing more than an attempt to relieve some boredom at the expense of Saigusa's naivete.
あ、ごめんなさい。私そんなつもりじゃなくて。そうですね。
She seems dejected. It would take someone like Makidera or Tosaka to extract a promise as overbearing as that.
ユキカ殿。
それでしたら今度私の弟たちに会っていただけませんか？
それはなぜかな。
きっと弟たちも本当にお侍さんがいるんだ、すごいなーって驚いてくれると思うんです。だからその約束してくれたら
Having said that much, she stays silent. Not that it makes it any less forceful. Hearing promise, the word causing her anxiety, a faint smile appears on Kojiro's face. There's no way Saigusa would know the weight of the promise that binds his body here.
ユキカ殿には弟分がおられるのか。
はい、私が一番上のお姉さんなんです。
そうか。姉上に似て兄弟思いの優しい弟もなのであろう。
The praise causes Saigusa's cheeks to light up bright red in an instant. She's flustered once again.
そんなことないです。みんなやんちゃで言うこと聞かなくって食いしん坊で私を困らせてばっかりで、いざ連れてきても小次郎さんに変なこと言っちゃったりしないかって不安で、私すいません。
ユキカ殿が慌てることはない。時には昔日を思い出すのも悪くはないと思うてな。
Nodding like that, Kojiro is getting dramatic again. Twisted as he is, he can still weave in a glamorous quote. Or did I actually mean it? If that's the case, I have greatly underestimated Saigusa's skill.
本当ですか？
気が向けば顔程度は見せよう。とはいえ、夜の訪問は物騒だ。日中であればいつかの機会に。
じゃあ また日を改めて弟たちと一緒に来ますから。すいません、こんなことをお願いして。
She bows deeply. In the end, despite wanting to leave, well, I guess it's alright. So I really did end up just watching them. Kojiro knew it, but it's rather rude for me to be peeking on Saegusa. As quietly as possible, I take my leave.
さて、境内をちょっと見ていくか。
Aw. That was nice seeing a different side of Assassin like that. Didn't really think he'd let his guard down like that around Saegusa. Anything around here I can do? Not really. I'll just skip these. Alright, let's see. Something in Ryder's room. Temple. Kuzuki. Go back to the Einsburn castle. Let's just go to the Emi residence. Go on Ryder's room. Sakura.
Hmm?
Why are Saber and Tosaka in the hallway? I thought they'd be talking, but they're just standing there quietly. Or rather, they're directing some sharp stares over this way. I'll pretend I never saw this and go somewhere else. Just as that thought crosses my mind.
はあ。体重は増えてないのですか？
ライダー、そんなことないから。
These voices sound like Sakura and Ryder. A woman's weight is a subject of great importance, but also a very delicate one. Thus, for men, it is also an exceedingly dangerous one, should they be foolish enough to bring it up. Even engaging in the act of thoughtlessly eavesdropping on a formation of women discussing it is just asking to be taken down by a sweeping hip throw. So, despite this, why are Saber and Tosaka just standing there?
ですがさくら、サイズが大きくなったのに体重が減っているなどという異次元的な事態は通常ありません。
そうかな。ウエストはきつくなってないけど。
そうですか。失礼します。
What are they doing over there? There's no way to know without taking a peek.
ああ、失礼。
Raising my hand, I walk past. It's not like this is an undercover investigation or anything. As I turn around the corner...
先輩！
こんにちは、シロ。
Ryder had Sakura easily lifted up by her waist. Sakura realizes she's been seen and jumps back in a panic.
確かに体重は変わってませんね。そして
さっきのあれ、軽量だったのか。
Ryder's showing an admirable amount of chutzpah doing that.
先輩、どこから聞いてました？
どこからって、あ、いや、体重がなんとかって。
I don't know if saying that was a good idea, but I don't think I can claim I heard nothing.
あ、いや、さくらは見た目が標準的だと思うから気にしなくていいと思うぞ。あえていくつあるのかは聞かないけど。
私は 57kg ですね。
Thanks, Ryder. Ooh, hearing something like that will definitely bring bad luck. Still, only that for her height. She's really slender, and her sizes are, yeah. So when they were talking about Sakura getting bigger, they meant her.
先輩、顔が赤いですよ。
さくらの胸が大きくなったことに気がついたからでしょう。
You know, you could just not say these things, Ryder.
シロも見ていないようできちんと観察しているのです。
Oh my god, Ryder. You don't have to say all of this stuff. Sakura and I yelled in unison there. While I was just shocked, Sakura is pissed.
ライダー、先輩にそんなこと言わなくても。
隠していては効果がありません。さくら、あなたは自らの武器を自覚すべきです。この際、包み隠さず告白するのも一つの手ではないのでしょうか。
俺に告白されても困る。
そうです。先輩も困ります。
おや、喜びこそすれ、悲しむことはないと思うのですが、もっとも そのことに憤る面々も少なくないと。
Ryder shoots off a quick glance to the other side of the wall. It seems she's noticed the two eavesdroppers.
そんなこんなことで姉さんは怒らないですよ。
リンも人の子です。さくらのような体重は変わらないのに胸が大きくなっていくという恵まれた体質は気になるでしょう。同じ血を受け継いでいるのですからなおさらだ。リンにとってさくらの体質はいかなる城壁よりも強固な壁に違いありません。
Ryder calmly invites a bloodbath with those words.
でもセイバーは気にしないぞきっと。
Sorry, Tosaka. I can't defend you in this situation.
そうですよね。セイバーさんもサーバントですからスタイルなんて関係ないって前に言って。
あれはコンプレックスの裏返しでしょう。私にもわからなくはありませんが。
Enough, my stomach hurts. If this wall were to suddenly collapse, there would be one ridiculous battle. I'm not even sure if risking my life could possibly prevent it. I can't keep breaking out in cold sweat, though. For some reason, it feels like Sakura's got a second bombshell to announce.
やっぱりわかりますか先輩。
いやサイズまでわからないし、昔に比べればほらさくらも結構その。
2 years ago, I thought she looked so thin and frail. Is it the soil or water in my house? I've seen her grow up right before my eyes. Just like a tree in a garden, nutrition must be the important factor, right?
それはやっぱり先輩のご飯が美味しいから私も食べ過ぎちゃって。
ああ、それは嬉しい。
さくら、ですから体重の自己管理は重要です。
Ryder shoots another glance at the other side of the wall. Her mystic eyes may be blocked by those glasses, but they still seem to pierce right through the wall, casually playing with those on the other end.
またサイズが合わなくなってきて、これくらいのサイズになると可愛いのが少なくなっちゃうのに。
Ah, is that right? Wait, Sakura's underwear? I better guard myself against my mind's eye. If I think about those big plump breasts wrapped in a brassiere, the main CPU will definitely overheat.
姉さんくらいだと可愛いのや綺麗なのが国産でもたくさんあるから羨ましいな。セイバーさんもジュニアで可愛いのが。
そうですか。ですがインポートは逆ではないかと。リンはそう言ってましたよ。
I'd like her to avoid bringing in nationalistic issues in this topic. This place may have turned into a veritable women's dorm, but I'm still a healthy young man.
ああもういいよ全然無視してくれて。立ち話も悪いからお茶入れてくるな。
ごめんなさい先輩。こんなお話聞かせちゃって。先輩男の人だから聞いても。
男の人だから楽しみではないのですか。
Ryder's something else, man.
ライダーったらさっきからもう。
That's because she's making fun of us, Sakura. You, me, and those two behind the corner. I shall retreat for the time being. I walk towards the kitchen on unsteady feet. Those two are waiting for me with that look in their eyes. I didn't do anything wrong. If there was a wrongdoer, it would be Sakura's physics-defying chest.
エミヤくん、ちょっと話に付き合ってもらうわよ。
Oh boy.
私もシロと話し合いたいことがあります。
あら、話題は同じようね。じゃあ一緒にしましょう。
ああ、俺さくらとライダーにお茶を。
そう、代わりに私が入れてあげるから。セイバー？
了解です、リン。シロを部屋に確保します。
Fuck. She firmly grabs my arm. Ah, it seems my right to veto to remain silent, and even my basic human rights are all gone. Danger, Will Robinson. By having me sacrificed here, a face-to-face confrontation will be averted elsewhere, and peace will be preserved in our residence. Or not.
仕方ない。身を捨ててこそ浮かぶ瀬もあれ。
Thus, one peaceful morning is sacrificed for stress relief. Being the only guy here sure is hard. Let's see. Wait, why is Rin in Shirou's room? It's one of the Tosaka residents, too. Let's see, we're at the temple gates as well. A lot of Rin events. I'm curious, what is this one? I come to and realize that I've been spacing out in the storehouse for some time now. After lunch, I decided to drop by on a whim where it looks like I dozed off.
なんもないしな。戻るか。
Huh? Seems like there's someone in my room.
誰だ？
They're quietly rifling through my belongings. It might be Sakura searching for clothes to put in the laundry. No, that's not it.
リン、このようなことはよろしくない。
でもね、気にならないやっぱり。
What are they doing? I want to know what they're up to, but if I go in right now, I know Tosak will end up smooth talking our way out of it somehow.
様子を見るか。
It's unusual for them to not have noticed my presence by now, if I'm this close. Is even Saber that distracted?
気になるならないではありません、リン。やはり、シローに失礼です。
でもね、エミヤ君だって密かにセイバーの部屋に忍び込んでるかもしれないわよ。
What is this slander, Rin? I'm gonna kill her. Well, I've gone into Tosaku's room while she was away, but that was just to clean it.
シローに限って、そのようなことはありません。
どうかしら。ほら、エミヤ君だって年頃の男の子じゃない？それなのにセイバーみたいなこと一緒だったらね。エミ
Seriously, I'm gonna kill her. Right now, before she can say another word, I will straight up kill.
とにかく、そのようなものはシローの部屋にはないはずです。
どうかしらね。私はある方にかけるわよ。負けたら何かおごってあげる。
では、江戸前屋のどら焼きでお願いします。
You had something ready to go right off the top of your head, huh? I wonder what would happen if Saber loses. From what I see, it seems that Tosaka has absolute confidence in this. In any case, just what is it they're looking for?
さてさて、どの辺から行きましょうかね。
この部屋には物を隠す場所はさほどありませんから。
机の下、引き出しの奥、この辺が常道よね。
It's almost as if she thinks she's on a treasure hunt. I don't own anything embarrassing enough that I need to hide it, though. I haven't got any money stashed away in there either.
ないわね。となると、畳の下か、押し入れの中か。
私の記憶では、シローがこの部屋で畳を返していたことはありません。
普通そんなことしないわよ。でも、シローなら念入りにやりそうよね。
Does she think I'm a ninja or Sengoku warlord or something? Besides, you couldn't really hide anything under the tatami in the first place. Under the floorboards would be a different story, though.
土蔵の中という可能性もありませんか？
あそこなら山ほど隠せそうだし、シローも毎晩言ってるわね。でも、魔術師は攻防に集中の妨げとなるものは極力排除するわ。
なるほど。雑念が入ると命取りですね。
She's right about all the junk I have in there, though, which I suppose is quite a distraction. But after having seen all that fitness gear stowed away in her basement, I don't think Tosaka's in any position to say that. The biggest distraction I have right now is wondering why she's so sure I've got something hidden in here.
これこれ、こういうのを探してたのよ。
まさか、リン、本当にあったのですか？
エミヤ君がおやつをこんなとこに隠してるわけないしね。これがビンゴよ、きっと。
A candy box? When did I ever hide that? No, wait, let me think. Now I remember. That's...
いえ、まだ中を見てみるまでわかりません。
お嬢際が悪いわよ、セイバー。 さてご会長。
うわ、このようなものをシロが。
I know what that is now. Right. Since you can't simply throw that away, I ended up storing it in some random box. And since I didn't want Saber and the others to open it by mistake, I hid it in there. So inside that box is a photo book from the adult-only section of the
う
bookstore.
わー、ずいぶんとまた濃厚ね。エミヤくんって密かにマニアックじゃないかと思ってたんだけど、やっぱり。
信じられません。シロがこのような低劣俗悪なものに劣情を抱いていることなどありえない。
Thanks for believing in me, Saber. I have a feeling that showing too much loyalty will work against me here, though. Besides, that book actually came from... Ah, now I remember.
ふんふん、傾向が分かってきたわね。お姉さん系が好きなんだ、シロってば。あら、こっちには妹っぽいのも。けどブロンドさんはないわね。
そうなのでしょうか。
やっぱりセイバーも気になってるじゃないの。
I better put an end to this sooner, or else who knows what they'll say to me afterwards. It'll be safest to clear up a misunderstanding like this as early as possible.
それシンジのだ。
シロ、
シンジのやつがエミやこういうの好きだろうとか言って押し付けてきたんだ。それを晒しておくのも気まずいので隠してただけ。
That's right. Shinji is the kind of guy who does actually come in with well-meaning, but totally unneeded advice sometimes. I have my issues with how he tries to push his personal interest on other people, but he really does have a thing for the older sister type, doesn't he? Makes a lot of sense now that I think about it.
ずっとしまい込んでて忘れてた。本当にありがとう、トサカ。
I thank her with a smile of perfect benevolence on my face. Unsurprisingly, I can already see a vein in her forehead beginning to throb in rage. It's alright to counterattack like this every once in a while.
あ
悪いな。いろいろ期待させたみたいで。けど俺、こういうの買わないんだ。
It's a waste of money. And besides, I could get it from work for free if I really wanted any. However, that last part is top secret, so I better leave it at that. Whether it's because Tosaka's embarrassed at leaping to the wrong conclusion or something else, the hand holding Shinji's prized book begins quivering.
あんたなんでシンジのコレクションなんか拝ませるのよ。
No one made you look at it. She flies into an extremely self-righteous rage.
なんだよ。勝手に探したのはそっちじゃんか。俺。
うるさい。魔術師は皆世界にある秘された真実の探求の徒よ。
Rin, you really don't have a foot to stand on here. That's so unreasonable, I don't even know where to begin. And even if it were true, a seeker of truth like Tosaka should be prepared to deal with the occasional friendly fire like this.
リン、これは私が賭けに勝ったということでよろしいのですか？
でもシロは現に持ってたじゃないの。
ですが、それは魔頭真治の所有物であり、シロの持ち物というわけではありません。江戸前屋のどら焼き、おごっていただきます。
No longer leaving room for a negative answer, Saber presses on. And not simply because food is involved, it appears.
分かったわよ。今から買ってくる。まったく、あんなもの見せられたから気分転換に行かないと思うわ。
Tosaka takes her leave, grumbling under her breath all the way out the door. The heavy atmosphere of the room lightens like the calm after a typhoon. If, hypothetically, and I want to stress that this is only hypothetically, that had really been a pick of my own, then I'd have already met with a fate worse than death by now. Had it been my real secret treasure hidden even deeper that had been discovered, I could only hope to get off as lightly as I did this time.
紙一重の差だったか。ありがとう、シンジ。
安堵しました。やはりシロは清廉潔白で高潔なマスターです。
Might be speaking a little prematurely there, Saber.
ね、ああ、いや、これからは誤解を招くような真似は避けるから。
ですがシロは金髪はいえ、何でもありません。
I get the feeling that I better not ask. Letting this conversation continue could well lead to the discovery of the second Pandora's box below.
そろそろ3時だよな。
So he does have it, just not the one they found.
セイバー、今に行って遠坂を待っていよ。お茶の用意をして賭けの報酬を受け取らないと。
そうですね。私たちの完全勝利です。
A blissful smile lights up Saber's face. Sorry, Saber. It's not a victory for us so much as it is for me. Oh, man. Alright. Well, fourth day. Nothing to do at night, so we'll call it a day. Alright. So, in the next one, we'll, go around again. I'll see you all then. Bye!